All right, chat. Let's talk Squid Game, shall we? What did you guys think about Squid Game? Talk to me, dude. My freaking FYP is cooked, dude. I saw way too many freaking edits. Way too many edits. Like I'm quite aware that I posted Squid Game clips. I mean, I don't know if anyone's peeped that. I've been literally just posting Squid Game content or clips, but bro, my FYP was just cooked with so many of them. Sobbed uncontrollably. Deaths were so rushed. I actually had to stop watching at some point. Damn. When I watched it, obviously I knew, I had a feeling that 456 was not gonna win back to back. I had a strong feeling like there was no way he's gonna win back to back. But I feel like watching how he played these games a lot more differently than how everyone played these games. You know? Like if you take this back to like season one, right? People were playing these games because of how needy they were for money. How like no matter the way they will go to actually win these games so they can get money. And that involves like having to kill someone, or having to sacrifice. But the thing about 456 was his intention was to not his intention was to not play the game. His intention was to stop the game. And the only way to stop the game was to save the people. The whole entire time. Like that's what it impresses me how well the director wrote Gi-hoon's character. Like it's like the best character that's like ever been like written, when it comes to like a movie or a show. Like I just like his character was just like perfect for his role, man. It was just so freaking perfect. Um I knew it too, but everyone dies for a goddamn AI baby. Did you see the AI dog? Bro, the only thing that made me tear up was the freaking dog, man. Look, if you're wondering if I cried watching Squid Game, I mean, I'll tell you this much. My heart was broken, bro. My heart was like broken. I was like, damn, bro, like seeing all the deaths that happen and stuff. But the thing about me is that like I love watching sad movies and sad shows. So I was numb to this. I was numb watching Squid Game, to be honest. But I was like I felt so heartbroken to seeing the deaths. I think the the death that got me the most emotional had to be 120. It had to be player 120. That's the right player, right? The trans player 120 Squid Game. Yeah, her. Dude, her death act, dude, I got freaking pissed off, bro. Oh my god, dude, I was pissed. Like this was literally me, right? So when season 3 came out, I was watching it here in my room, and I'm sitting like this, both of my legs are on the chair. As as I was watching it, right? And then the moment I had a feeling. I had a feeling the moment when she was like when she told the grandma and the pregnant girl, she was like, "Don't worry, we could be a great team. I have all three of her keys." The moment she said that, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Now that she said that, I have a strong feeling that it's not gonna turn out well as soon as the game is over. Also, who decided to make hide and seek 30 freaking minutes, bro? 30 minutes for hide and seek? By the Urky old 007s. That is a long ass hide and seek game. Dude, that episode 2 was like the longest episode, but it was so good at the same time, man. Oh my god, I was at the edge of my seat. I was biting my nails. You know that one scene from SpongeBob and SquarePants? That one episode where he's eating his hand and he has like a bucket of popcorn, but instead of popcorn, it's just him like biting his fingers and his hands. That's what was like literally me watching that last episode. Yo, thanks for subscribing on YouTube. Appreciate it. Yo, you have one viewer, bro. I feel bad for you. I hope you get 5 million subs one day. Hey, Kitsune God from YouTube, I appreciate it. Um, anyways, I was in Squid Game. I was player 007. Okay, all right. But dude, oh my god, I was pissed. I was pissed when this girl died. I was really pissed. What made it even worse was who she died to. Player 333. All right. So let me talk about okay, let me ask y'all this. Cuz I actually like this cast. I think season 1 will always be my favorite season, but if I have to say, the season 2 cast, season 2 slash season 3 cast, I felt more connected with. Because like obviously, when you watch like a show or like a movie, your main focus is always on the main character and not really like the side characters. But like, I don't know, like they did such a great job casting these group of people. The mother, the son with the glasses, player 333, the pregnant girl 222, what else? Thanos. I mean, come on. Thanos was my favorite character. I will talk about Thanos. I will get to that. I did see what happened with Thanos. But dude, the whole cast was like perfect. Like when I watched season 2 to season 3, I felt so connected to each character. I felt so like season 1, I was like, yeah, I want 4, 5, 6 to win, you know? I want 4, 5, 6 to win. Also, Erky, could you do me a favor? Could you pin a message saying spoiler warning or something like that for me, please? Thank you. Um, but yeah, I felt so connected with all the characters, right? Season 1, I was like, oh, I want 4, 5, 6 to win. I want 4, 5, 6 to win. But when it came to this season, I was like, damn, like I feel bad for the mother. I feel bad for player 120. I feel bad for the pregnant girl. I feel bad for everyone. I was like, damn, I don't want anyone to die. Like I want 4, 5, 6 to stop the game. But knowing where they were in the situation, especially what happened at the end of season 2, I was like, you know what? In order for 4, 5, 6 to stop this game, he would have to um he would have to play throughout the whole entire way because there's no way that someone's gonna go save him. Personally, I feel like player 120's death was so messed up. She's clearly a strong character, and the way she died was being stabbed in the back. The weakest way to be taken out, to be honest, that is what pissed me off. Yeah, it pissed me off, bro. And let me just say this. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I actually wanted to see player 333 and player 222 get back with each other. I don't know if anyone is with me on that, but I'm part of that fandom. I actually wanted the MG coin scammer guy to get with the pregnant girl. I really did. I was like, damn, like I don't know what happened with the both of them, but I hope they kind of like make up, and get back together and maybe they could raise the family and stuff. But the moment the moment when player 120 died, comes to find out that it was the MG coin dude that stabbed her. The look on the look on player 333's face was like, yeah, bro, you fucked up. You fucked up, bro. You fucked up. And like that's why I was pissed. Not only was I pissed because not only was I upset because this was actually one of the best characters in the game. Because dude, she was freaking badass, bro. Jesus Christ, man, she was freaking badass. You saw how she killed the first person, dude. My goodness, bro. And the way he was willing to sacrifice his own baby, that man deserved to die. Nah, I wanted player 333 and player 22 to make up. I wanted them to make up. But the moment that he stabbed, when he killed player 120, I was like, yeah, dude, yeah. And I thought, dude, I thought I was actually rooting for player 333 to actually, like, I thought there would be some character development with this guy, you know? He's lucky that he has a very handsome face card. I mean, dude, there's girls out there that are posting on TikTok saying, "Oh my God, why they kill player 333? He has such a handsome face card." Bro, he almost sacrificed the baby. Like, damn, bro. Like, I thought there was going to be some character development, especially when it came to the jump rope game. The freaking jump rope game. We all know the jump rope game. Oh my god. Oh, I forgot to mention too, dude, the moment when player 333 tripped on the stairs and hurt her ankle, the moment that she fractured her ankle on the staircase during the hide and seek game, I started to think. I was like, "Oh shoot." Because I remember watching the trailer. The trailer showed the jump rope, right? So I knew that she was going to die. I knew that she was going to die, but I was just like I was just kind of like curious as to like how is she going to die? Or like how is there going to be a way for them to make her live and stuff, you know? So, as we get into the jump rope game, right? We all know what happened in jump rope game. That the baby came out. Oh, so let me just say this, bro. Who decided to have freaking Chat GPT make a freaking baby for Squid Game in the year 2025? You saw how hideous that baby is? I'm like, no offense. Bro, they put a Chat GPT baby in Squid Game. Like you have all this time, you have all this time to hire so many great actors and actresses from the whole entire K-drama industry, but you give us a Chat GPT baby. I was like, what the heck is that? As soon as the baby came out, I'm like, what the hell is that? Ew. The son's death was so emotional. I felt like it was the saddest scene. Player player seven's wait. I think the baby was real when it returned to the detective guy. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about like having like newborn babies, like whenever you're filming movies and shows, they can be very difficult. It can be very difficult. But also at the same time, it's like, I mean, what can a freaking 0-year-old baby do in a movie? Just be a baby, right? So like why couldn't they just get like an actual baby and just do what a baby does, which is like cry or sleep? So I don't know. It just threw me off to see that the baby was freaking AI. But yes, the baby was real at the ending scene. But let's talk about the jump rope game. Let's talk about the freaking jump rope game, right? The jump rope game was pretty crazy. Not gonna lie, that jump rope game was something. But I knew that player 333 was not gonna pass that game. I knew that. I was like, yeah, I think this is the game that she's gonna die. But then started to wonder. I was like, wait, if she dies, then like, what about the baby? Like, what is she gonna do? You know? And it's also a big what if, right? Because remember, before they go into the jump rope game, she almost left the baby behind. But instead, she brought the baby with her. So it's like, what would have happened if she just left the baby behind at the bed? You know? Because if you remember what happened, right? You know, she brought the baby, and you know, Gi-hoon was like, we're just gonna leave the baby there, and we're gonna try to cross this thing. But bro, whose bright idea was it to say that the baby is a freaking player? Oh my god, that pissed me off, bro. And don't even get me started with the VIPs. I don't know who decided to freaking hire them, bro. Dressed up as freaking NPCs. Jesus Christ. Betting on a baby to be a player? Like, what? The way his character did a whole 180, I couldn't even believe it. The VIPs wanted the baby to be part of the game. Yeah, what a sick freaking world. What a sick freaking world we live in. Well, in that movie.
I know, right?
Oh my god, but how different wouldn't it have been if she just left the baby sleeping at the bed? Because what if possibly could have happened was Gi-hoon would have been like, okay, just leave your baby in the bed. Your ankle's fractured. Here, I'm gonna carry you, and we're gonna go across. That could have happened. And then she would have lived. She would have lived. Now, there was a possibility that that was going to happen. We all thought that player 333 was going to be like, okay, I fucked up. I killed player 120. So, I realize that, I realize that player 333, she's hurt and she has a baby. I need to be a man. I need to man up. I messed up, so this is my opportunity to man up. Bro, holy freaking airball, bro. He freaking airballed, man. There was a moment where he, like, remember he walked up to her and he starts telling her, I was like, are you able to do this? What do you mean is she able to do this? She has a broken ankle, my guy. Come on. Step it up. Step it up. It's almost game 7 of the finals. It's almost the last game. Why don't you become a man and do something about it? But dude, before he even got the chance to breathe a single word for a chance for her to forgive him, what did she say? She said something like along the lines of like I don't want my baby or me to ever think of a piece of shit you are, or something like that. Oh my god, bro. I was like, oh my, like, damn. That's just like, ooh. The moment she said that to him, yeah, that's it. It's over. It's over. Because in my head, what I thought was gonna happen was gonna be like, look, I'm sorry that I did that. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, and let me just say this too. Camera three. Camera three. Let me just say this too. Remember in the freaking hide and seek game where Mingyu, the guy that was Thanos' best friend, and the MG coin guy, they teamed up and then they killed one guy, right? You guys remember that, right? Didn't the rule clearly said that once you kill someone in hide and seek, that means you pass. That means you don't need to kill any more people. You don't need to hide. You don't need to protect yourself. You're good. You could just chill for the rest of the game. But you know what he did? He kept killing more people. He kept killing that person, that person, that person. Like, Mingyu made him a crazy person. I think that's kind of what started. I think that's kind of what made him to become crazy. Cause like why would you do that? Cause he literally told her way before the game started, was like, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna help you escape. As soon as the game starts, that's what I'm gonna do. And he didn't do that. He didn't. They wanted to kill more people so the prize money would go up. See, the things that money can do is so freaking brutal, bro. The things that people are willing to do just to have this. It's so freaking chaotic, man. Because I really was rooting for that guy. I really was rooting for that guy. But like, he didn't have to kill more people. I mean, he was able to kill one person, but then he just kept going because he got influence that the more people you kill, the more money that gets added to the price. So fast forward to the jump rope game. He talks to player 333, and she's like, I don't ever want to deal with a piece of shit like you are ever in my baby's mind and in my mind, even if I'm dead. And she even said it to him too. She said what we all thought that he was gonna say to her. What are you gonna do? Carry me? We wanted that to happen. We really wanted that to happen. But she didn't. She ended up not doing that. That's honestly what happened to 007. He couldn't kill anyone. There's basically no one left, and everyone he already found was either already dead or someone stole the kill right in front of him. Oh. So, ah, the moment that Gi-hun passed, he took the baby, jumped and jumped and jumped and made it to the finish line. He raised the baby like a freaking trophy. I was happy. I was like, oh my god. This is why he's my favorite character. Besides Thanos. But Thanos is already dead. 456 is my guy. He is that guy. I was so happy about that. But when it came down to the last few people, and then we saw, you know, at the very ending, I was like, damn. I don't think player 3-3 is going to make it. I don't think she's going to make it. Dude. That hurt me to watch, you know. The same thing that happened to Saebyok from season 1, I had the same exact feeling for Jiuhee. I don't remember the names. The same thing happened to the pregnant girl. I felt so bad when she fell off the map and she died to fall damage. I was like, damn. Like, wow. Like, damn, bro. He was in his villain era first 2 episodes. He was hunting that one guy, Daeho. Jun. Oh, so it was Junhee. Player 100 was a leech. Was a damn rat. He literally leech up everyone else. Bro, Player 100 was supposed to be dead like episodes ago, bro. Episodes ago. Who decided to make this guy make it to the final? Like, bro, the moment, oh my god. By the Urky 506. The moment that I saw hit player 100 for the first time, I was like, kill this guy. I was like, please. By all means, get rid of this dude, bro. He almost died, actually. Wasn't it during the pentathlon that player 100 was like this close on dying? But he somehow made it alive? Like that, dude, that guy got freaking carried through the full final, bro. Oh my god. But I can see why. I can see why. I mean, I went to college for film. I can see why they kept player 100 at the later end. You know, the reason why they kept player 100 is because player 100, like out of everyone that was still remaining, the most hated person was player 100. Because if they were to kill player 100 early, then to there's nothing to conflict with, you know? Because as soon as player 100 is dead, then yeah, Gi-hun and the rest of the players with the X on their chest would have to convince the continue players to join their team. But knowing that player 100 was like, it was like a dictator, you know? So it makes a lot of sense why they kept him throughout the end of the finale it kept people barking. It kept people like super frustrated. And that's like the thing about what makes Squid Game such a good movie, or sorry, show, is because there's nothing positive about this. There's nothing hopeful about this either. We all want to be hopeful for Squid Game, but in reality, there was no hope. There was no hope, you know? No hope at all. Mingyu almost killed him too when he found him hide and seek and pretended he was dead. Oh my god, yeah, I remember that. When he played dead right next to a dead guy and then freaking Mingyu was acting crazy. Bro, that guy stabbed the dead guy in the dick. I don't know if anyone caught that. I was like, damn, ow. But yeah, he was so lucky. Player 100 was so lucky he was still alive. He was so lucky. Dude, if it wasn't for freaking player 3, like, hey, whatever, let's go. How come the word whatever made him stop stabbing player 100? We were so freaking close, bro. It was so freaking close. Goddamn freaking close, man. Ah. So, after the jump rope game, after the jump rope game, I didn't realize that there were so many people left. There were so many random people that was still left for the final game. Like, why did they give us so? Like, why did they do a random fill for the finale? I thought the finale would be just like two people or three people, but it ended up becoming like eight random people, I think, or nine. Nine if you count the damn baby. I hate that we have to count the baby, bro. The moment that they started to change the rule and be like, okay, the baby is a player. Oh my goodness, I just could not wrap my head around it. I just couldn't. I was like, how is the baby supposed to win this? Like how? How is the baby going to win this entire thing? But then we all found out what happened at the very end. So the night the night before the final game, the Last Supper, everyone was in tuxedos and they all ate some food. Did anyone catch that one scene when the zero guard was giving the baby like a milk and like a whole carriage and everything? If you look back at that scene, if you look back at that scene, you can see that 456 wasn't eating yet. Because if you remember, if you watched throughout the whole entire season, Gihun did not crack a single smile. He did not crack a single smile, nor has he even eat. He would always be handcuffed to the bed, right? But he never ate. He didn't eat until the very moment when the baby was fed baby milk. Now, there's a symbolism behind that. And like, basically, I mean, I don't know the exact term for it, but I know where, because I read that. I read that. The moment when he, the moment when the baby was fed baby milk, and then that's when he started to eat, that just like clicked in my head. I was like, oh, he's finally starting to eat. And the reason why is because like, this is the only moment where he feels like everything's okay for a moment. Because during that whole entire time, since the end of season 2 up until season 3, he had no desire to communicate with people, smile, eat food, go to the bathroom. He was just very, very like like upset after like what's going on. Like he just lost his best friend at the end of season 2, where they killed him right in front of him, and now more people are dying, and now there's a baby. It's like, damn, like what can he do? The way that the frontman revealed himself to Gihun, it was way too rushed. I'm pissed about that. I needed a better reveal. Oh, the frontman reveal? Yeah. Yeah, when I what was it? What was it? What did I think of about that scene? It was kind of rushed. I mean, I was hoping that season 3, camera one. I was hoping that season 3 would be 8 episodes at least. 6 episodes is pretty short. But I will say every episode was really paced very well. In my personal opinion. In my personal opinion, I think each episode was like very paced well. Um and I think the reason why I enjoyed, because I've heard a lot of like mixed reviews about like, oh, I hate how long it ended, how dragged out. Nothing was dragged out. It actually wasn't dragged out. In my opinion, I think some things were kind of rushed. But I don't think uh anything was dragged out, because there's nothing more that you could really do in this simple story, you know? It's such a simple story, you know? People that are in debt end up in an island and they play a series of child games, and if you lose you die, but if you win you get to win the cash prize and you get to go home, right? There's nothing more that you can add to this, especially knowing that season 3 was originally supposed to be season 2, but they purposely split up in 2 seasons, because whatever happened in season 3, if season 3 and season 2 were one full season, let's be honest. A lot of us wouldn't be too overwhelmed. A lot of us wouldn't be too happy. We would be just too overwhelmed. We'd be like, "What? That's it? Are you kidding me? That's it?" A lot of people would have thought like it would have been rushed if season three and season two combined. So I thought it was smart enough that they split it into two seasons. And the reason being is because it's that intensity. It's that hype that gets people, wanting more and more and more and having to wait. And it tested a lot of people's patience, and especially myself. When I watched the end of season two, I was like, bro, I want to watch the next season. I want to watch the next episode, you know? And that's what makes, and another thing of like why Squid Game is such a big show, such a popular show is because the fandom is so freaking tough, bro. The Squid Game universe fandom is so freaking tough, man. Like, knowing, like, it is sad because Squid Game is finally over, but it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while until people are gonna stop talking about Squid Game, in my personal opinion. Now, for an average person that just watches based on what's trendy, yeah, they're probably gonna forget in 2 weeks. But for someone that, but for someone like me that stumbled upon Squid Game back in late 2021, I was super, super stoked about the new season and the season after that. Even like these characters and like what shows are they in and stuff. Like I was just so glued in to like the whole thing. The hide and seek, in my opinion, was the most intense episode. It felt so long in a good way. Yeah, I was waiting for a long episode because we didn't really get a long episode in season two. Season two was very like, you know, it was more like repetitive, like season one, but also more focused of inside the game instead of like what's happening outside in the real world. But season two did feel rush. And the reason why I felt rushed is because they saved it for season three, simply. And one of those great examples is we got that hide and seek episode. And that's why it felt so long and it just kept people like very tuned in, even how long that episode was. Um Now the ending, the final game. What are your guys' thoughts about the final game? The last, was it Sky Squid Game? Oh my god. The final game. When I found out there were still 9 players left, I was like, this is gonna be like an intense battle royale. Like, how is this gonna be? How are they gonna handle this? You know? Like how are they gonna kill off 8 people? The lunchbox honestly cracked me up, bro. I got freaking pissed about the lunchbox guy. So the last game, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying things incorrectly, if I'm missing a point that needs to be talked about. So the rules of the last game is there's 3 different platforms, right? There's three different platforms, and the objective of the game is you try to decide who you eliminate. And then the game doesn't start until you press the button. And then once you eliminate one person from that group, then you can move on to the next one. And then the same thing goes up until like the very last round, right? Um, you have to wait. You have to wait for the timer to end. Oh, which is why you're able to kill more people. There was a timer, and obviously, just like in every other game, if the timer runs out and nothing happens, everyone dies. That's crazy. That's like Squid Games is a tough game, bro. My God, such a simple rule, but it's so effective. As soon as the time runs out, then it just kills more people. So the last game happens, right? They eliminate the first guy. Minsu. Damn, bro. One of the most underrated characters in that show. Dude. I actually like that guy. There was something about that guy that I liked. But God damn, bro. The hallucinations got to him, man. The freaking hallucinations got to him. I was so confused during the hide and seek game when he was like walking around like a dead zombie. Excuse me. And it was like, excuse me, have you seen Sammy? I'm like, wait, hold on. It's like Sammy. Isn't that the girl that died from last season? Like, why is he questioning where she is? I was like so confused. I was like, wait, is she still alive or not? But it comes to find out that he was just being hallucinating and stuff. And I like, did he was he hallucinating because he took the pill? Was he taking the pill? Or was it just in his head? The way he was going through withdrawals in the last game, he was tweaking out. Yes. So he did take the pill. Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense then. I was gonna assume that he did, but at the same time, I was like, wait, what made him like take the pill though? Because that kind of what made him throw. He got his hands on the cross. He did got his hands on the cross. Yeah. Yeah, when he took he found the cross where Mingyu last had it when they killed the first guy in hide and seek, and then I don't know, for some reason it fell off or something or broke. I don't know. I felt bad though. I felt bad for Minsu. That's his name, right? I hope I'm getting it right. He opened it and he saw the pills and he saw how I gave Mingyu a boost in confidence and believed if he took a pill he'd be able to make it out of the game. Damn. But the side effect that he got was way different than what Mingyu got, right? Dude, if you remember at the very beginning of the game, as soon as the game started, there was like someone grabbing at the edge. When I saw the color of the nails, I instantly knew who that was. I was like, wait, hold on. Is that who I think it is? There's no way. As soon as I saw the red, the yellow, green, blue, I was like, wait, is that Thanos? And then when he peeped over and he saw Thanos was there, I was like, what the heck? Thanos is back? He's still alive? But then it instantly clicked when I was like, wait, no, he's hallucinating. Dude, I wish Thanos didn't die in season 2, bro. I wanted to see more Thanos. Dude, Thanos was my favorite guy in Squid Game. He was one of my favorite guys. Oh, man. Dude, I was freaking... I was going crazy. I was like, wait, what the heck? What is Thanos still doing here? But then it was just all part of hallucination. But what did get me sad was like seeing when Minsu died. Like, bro, he didn't man. Just like all the other innocent people in the Squid Game. Like even if you're the most the thing that I learned about watching Squid Game is that even the most innocent can be the most targeted. And that's so sad, bro. Like in this game, no one can get a pass. No one can get a pass. It doesn't matter if you're the nicest person in the room or if you're the oldest person in the room. No one had a single pass at all. Everyone just had to play against each other no matter what. And I felt so bad for Minsu. When Minsu threw the cross on the bridge during the jump rope game just for it to be completely empty was crazy. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dude, that see I read a lot of comments where during season 2 where a lot of people are saying like there's something about this character that makes me think that he's gonna develop into something different in season 3. You know, like there's a reason why like he's so bottled up and doesn't really do much in season 2, and that's exactly what we got in season 3. Right? We got to see that he was hallucinating, and clearly he really liked the girl that died, and he just kept having flashbacks and stuff, And in the moment during the jump rope game, oh, Bella, I don't know if you remember this, but remember during the voting? Remember before they voted for the jump rope game? This one I can't get over. Like, who remembers when during the voting game, during the voting before the jump rope game, how Mingyu voted to go home? As for Minsu, voted to keep playing. That one is a key moment. It's a key moment. That was crazy to me because I started to think that like, okay, Mingyu decided to stop the game because he realized, and you know why? He wanted to stop the game because he didn't have his pill. That's why. He can't play the games unless he has the pill. So he was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to keep on playing. I can't play without my pills. That's how crazy he was for the pill. Especially at the end of the hide and seek game when he was trying to tell the guards like, wait, can I go back? I really want to get I really want to get something. As for Minsu, he voted to keep playing because I don't know, and this is my observation. I think the reason why Minsu wanted to keep playing the game is because he wanted to kill Mingyu. I think that's why. I think that's why. You know, he wanted to like before he voted to keep playing the games because his group told him to. But I think he did that purposely because he wanted to kill Mingyu. You know, and so with the jump rope game, he didn't kill him, but he caused something that made him f up on the game, and that's where he took the pill from the cross and he took it. Because I was like waiting for a moment. I was like, okay, how is how is Minsu gonna gain so much aura from this, right? He voted to keep playing the game and he took the cross. What is he gonna do? What is he gonna do so he can gain some aura? So what he did is he took the pill, he started like shaking it in front of Mingyu, and he tossed it at the middle of the jump rope game, and that's what effed up the game for him. I was like, there we go. Finally, something happened. Something happened with this character, and I was like so happy to see. Finally, for once. I love how they brought up such a controversial topic like drugs into the game as a Korean show. That is crazy to think about. Now, there when it comes to like Korean shows, yeah, there's so many things that are so controversial that you can't have all the time. And that's why this show has been rejected for so many years because they think that Korea is not gonna like that type of stuff because it can kind of promote it, you know. I think another thing too that I discovered about movies or film in Korea is that you're not allowed to have a scene where a pregnant girl gets killed. So like I saw like this comment where like the reason why they chose for her to die by jumping off when not having a baby was because like if you die if a pregnant girl dies and they're pregnant in a story it's like illegal or something like that. So they had to wait until the baby would come out and then that's when they killed her. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's entirely true, but I thought it was very interesting. Um, and being hot during the jump ropes was insane too. That was funny. Yeah, that part of the episode was pretty funny. Where like it was just off of one pill, dude. That's like literally me if I take like one shot of freaking whiskey, I'm gone. But the last game, the very final and last game, man, when Minsu died, I was like, damn, he doesn't deserve to die. But at the same time, like, even the innocent person can be the most targeted. So it was sad to see him go. It was so sad to see him go, but hey, at least he gets to be with the girl in heaven, and that's what we want to happen. And then after they pass the first obstacle, then comes the second obstacle. Oh my God, I hated the people that were still remaining in the finals. Because here is my prediction of like what the final was gonna be like. I thought in the final would be 456, player 333, player 120, and Mingyu. I was hoping they would make it to the end. I was hoping they would make it to the end. Dude, oh my God. You know how crazy it would have been if player 120 was in the final? I thought that was going to happen, man. That's why I was so shocked. I was so shocked when they killed her. in the freaking hide and seek game. I was like, no. She's like one of the most potential like winners of this. Like, come on. Like she could have been the potential. But I think I can analyze and I can see why they chose to kill some of the valuable characters early on before the final. And I guess the reason being is because knowing how attached we were with some of these side characters, we would almost forget about 456 for a bit. So it kind of makes sense why in the finale they had less of the side characters with 456 because they wanted to draw the attention from the audience to go back into 456, you know? Because we were so attached with these characters, uh their stories and like how well they bonded with other characters. And that's what distracted us from 456 because dude, we all saw what happened in 456 at the end of season 2. He was sad. He felt like he lost. He felt like he was beaten up, you know? He didn't speak a single word. He didn't eat. He didn't crack a single smile. He was that hurt. And that's why there was a lot of focus on the side characters in the very beginning because there was nothing to get a 456 because we wanted his we want to see 456 play the main character role, and we got to see more of him playing the main character role in the second season. But season 3, they made it different, where instead of everything being focused on the main character all the time, they they showed the attention to the side characters. But it wasn't up until the finale that they decided, okay, since we're gonna kill all the characters early, we want to re-spark people's minds to remember that 456 is still in the game. He's still alive. So I think that's why they had less of the valuable side characters to be in the finale, just so the spotlight could be focused mainly in 456. You know, we all wanted 456 to win. We all did. But I know that there was no way that he was going to win back to back. But I was at the same time, I was kind of curious as to like, how are they going to end this? Because I know deep down inside that 456 is not going to come off as a winner in this last game. So it's like, how can they end this? And I'll be honest, I didn't think the baby was going to be. I really didn't think that the freaking baby that was literally 0 years old, doesn't even have a name, which is so sad too, because we don't know the name of the baby. So up into the finale, after what everything happened with the chaos of player 100 and then these other guys and then the guy that was a freaking lunchbox, like, bro, that guy sold, man. That guy sold. He freaking sold, bro. I don't know why, dude. Like, oh my god. He was like, he went from being like, oh, yeah, let's kill that baby. I'm gonna be the man. I'm gonna make sure I win, you know? And then as soon as he gets beaten up and then his leg gets broken, he's like, I don't want to play this game anymore. And then he decides to fall off. I was like, oh my god. When they haven't even freaking... Honestly, the lunchbug dying was validated. I mean, literally, they could have just thrown him off in the second round. But when I saw the others were fighting each other, I was like, what is going on? Like what is going on? Why are they all fighting each other? This is like, oh my god. I was just like, my head just like, it's just like all over the place, right? And then it came down to the last and final stage. Player 456 and player 333. I knew some sort of way that he was gonna be like the second guy that's gonna fight off against 456. It was either, like, in my head, I was either thinking of either player 333 or player 120 was gonna be the last person with to face off against 456. I was kind of hoping that was gonna happen, but we didn't get that. But I was right with player 333 being the last guy. I just didn't think that there'd be a freaking baby that'd be involved in this. I really didn't think. I knew that the baby was gonna be born. I knew that the baby was gonna come out because I heard the baby cry in the trailer, if you remember from months ago. But I didn't think it'd come down to like this, where the baby had to be a player in the game, and what caused it to end like that, right? Man, that was such a freaking nail biter. That was such a freaking nail biter. Like, oh my god, I thought they both died. I thought, well, in reality, well, in the end, they all died. But remember that one scene where like they were holding the pole and they flip over, bro? I thought that was it. I was like, I thought that was it. I was like, oh my god, is that it? But then when you found out that he was still grabbing on to like something, like, wow, bro, what are the chances that that still be there? Because imagine that freaking steel pipe or the beam, whatever it's called, was not there. And that's it. That's it. Then the baby wins. But then like, but I think what really got a lot of people frustrated. I even saw it coming. I even saw it coming. The freaking button. Oh my god, bro. The freaking button. Oh my god. Holy. I even have a clip of me reacting and seeing it happen. Like, let me play it real quick. We. What is going on my YouTube? Yo! Oh! Oh my god!
Dude, how is there not going to be a Squid Game 4? He still needs to.
See, this is right here. This is me when I was like, wait, hold on a second. Did they press the button? That was literally my reaction right here. Live reaction of me realizing that the button wasn't pressed.
He still needs to defeat these people.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I hope it's not what I think it's going to happen. Oh! Dude, that I was about to say. I was like, wait.
God,
the game hasn't even started.
That's crazy.
Yo! I was like, wait, hold on. And that's me realizing what happened at the end. My friend was celebrating when 333 died, and he was like, yes, Yoon's gonna win. And then I told him, no, they didn't press the button. And his face went pale. No, literally. I was like, hold on. Don't tell me. Don't tell me they didn't press the button. Dude, we would have been all happy if the baby just like rolled on the freaking button, bro. And yeah, but no, the button wasn't freaking pressed. The moment when the button wasn't pressed and Gi-hoon realized that it's just him and the baby, that's when I had to mature up and realize, like, wait. Knowing how Gi-hoon is and how he's played throughout these games from last season and now, there's no way that he's gonna kill for the win. Because he was always a helper. He wasn't always a player. He wasn't playing so he could win. He was trying to end it. He was trying to save the game. Where are you going?
Friend's house.
Okay, where's Monkey? Player 1 eliminated. He was never selfish. Exactly. He was never selfish. He always put others first before him. Like, he offered his food. He would help a hand. The moment when I knew that was just him and the baby, I was like, he's gonna do what I think he's gonna do. And I know a lot of people are gonna be super shocked when he actually does it. So I realized it. I realized it the moment when he held the baby. He held the baby. He held the baby. He held the baby like this. And he was like, I fucked up. What I gotta do, what I gotta do. Because I made a promise for player 222. Cha! I'm just kidding. They should have played. They should have named player 222's baby Monkey. um, did anyone realize that Daho was Gihun's first kill? He was. Oh, let me talk about Daho too, bro. I actually liked him. I actually liked him. Like I didn't think that he would actually like Gihun would actually kill him. You know, I didn't think he would actually kill him. But that's why you saw like how sad he was when he killed him during the hide and seek, to the point where he wanted to freaking end himself. That shows like how caring Gihun was, because he wanted to win these games without having to kill people. I think that moment when, how do you say his name? Daiho? That moment when he killed the fake military guy, that's when we saw that he did not want to like talk to anyone. He didn't want to do anything. And that's why we got more of the side characters to show more, you know? Because he realized like, wait, this actually is my fault. You know, he just kept blaming himself for that, you know? Player 222's baby should have been named Won Young. Yeah, when player 456 held that baby one last time, looked at the VIP in the eyes, looked at the front man, and then when he said the words, "We are not horses. We are humans. And humans are." That's got to be that's going to be a quote that's going to be remembered for generations. That's going to be something to remember for generations. If you remember from season 1, the reason why he was in debt, because he would bet on horses. He would bet on horses, and you know, his mother was in and out of the hospital, and he did not have enough money for that. And so that's why he played in the games, right? But if you remember at the end of season 1, the moment that he won Squid Games in season 1, and he was in a limousine with the front man wearing a blindfold, the front man literally said to him, I don't know exactly what he said, but he said something along the lines of like, seeing everyone play is like seeing how horses race, and something like that. Now I'm gonna go back into season 1, which is even crazier. But if you remember, what's so insane to me is that when he said that line, we are not horses, we are humans. I was like, how come for some reason I've heard this line before? Right? Sorry, Mo, I gotta put you down. Here, I'll play it. Let's go back into season 1, bro. Go.
그래서 궁금해. 너희들이 누군지. 어떻게 사람에게 이런 짓을 할 수 있는지.
456번. 허튼 생각하지 마.
그래서 난 용서가 안 돼. 너희들이 하는 짓이.
그 비행기를 타. 그게 당신한테 좋을 거야.
miss it?
말이 아니야.
There it is. There it is. Right here. Right here. Right here.
잘 들어. 난 말이 아니야. 사람이야.
Boom. In season 1, well, it wasn't his last words. But in season 1, he said, I'm not a horse. I'm a person. So fast forward to the ending of season 3. What did he say this time? We are not horses. We are humans. And that symbolizes that it's not even if it's not just him. It's just everyone in general. Not only in the show, but even in reality. That's what the greed of money can do to people is just so chaotic. And that's why it's such a powerful message, right? Because like the fact that he was saying like we are not horses, we are humans, and humans are. Do you have an idea of what he was going to say? You see, the thing that I like about this quote is because since this quote is so open-ended, it's so deep where you can think about how this quote can lead. Because if you were to ask the question, what are humans? How would you answer that? See how it takes some time to answer that when you come to think about it? Like, is that's what the reality is. Like humans, they can be kind, they can be nice, they could be mean, they could be greedy, they could be rude, they could be toxic. They could be alive, they could be dead. They could be anything. So it's not only the show that ends on an open ending, but it's also the quote that's open ending. And that's what gets people to wanting to keep on thinking of more and more things. Because that's what the reality is that we live in. There's this whole world. We're all a human, but what kind of a human are we? And when you watch this show, you get to see the different types of humans are in the Squid Game. We saw it all since the very beginning of the first season up into the very ending of season 3. We got to see what humans are every single way. And honestly, the list could go on and on and on. And that's why, like, with that quote, it's just like so spot on. It's just so spot on and so true. And even more mind blowing because he said this in the freaking ending of season 1. That's why when I heard him said, we are not horses, we are humans, like, wait, that sounds so familiar. And he said the exact same thing, but the difference is it's not only himself, it's everyone else that relates the same way. Someone on TikTok said he didn't say anything because it's a bit more complex of an answer. Humans can be anything. We make our own choices and decisions and opinions. Exactly. Exactly. And so when he said those lines, and then when he fell back, and then when he died, I didn't cry, but I was numb. I was numb, but I also saw it coming at the same time. Because as much as we want him to win the game and win the money, go see his daughter, go save his other friends and all that stuff, we all knew that it was going to end in that way. And like the thing what pisses me off, and this is just my opinion, I don't know why people hate the ending of this. Like, why do people hate how Squid Game ended? You know? I don't want to blame the next generation like that, or blame the TikTok audience, or blame the film critics and all that stuff, you know? But it's just like, why? But I can understand. When it comes to watching a movie or a show, people want to see a happy ending. People want to see the hero save the day. We're all so used to that, right? We're all used to seeing a happy ending. And when people watch the ending of Squid Game, they're pissed off because they didn't get the happy ending. Yeah, we didn't get the happy ending. We got a realistic ending.
I know, right?
That ending was the most realistic way in how you can end a show like that. Because, like I said earlier, there's no hope for the show. There's nothing happy about it. We got to see the realistic ending of the show. And that's why Generation Alpha is like, oh my God, why didn't 456 survive? Oh my God, L show, L movie. It was horrible. Why didn't we get the happy ending? And that's why I love this show so much. And why I love watching shows like that or movies like that. I want something that just makes you so upset and so realistically like, what? That you just love it. You know? People are born to getting that Disney ending. I hate Disney endings. I'm just gonna say that. I hate Disney endings. I think they're cliche. You know? I honestly think the ending was devastating because everyone wants their favorite character or the main character to survive, but this show isn't made for happy. Exactly. You know? And that's what make like Southeast, like Asia movies stand out more. Because we get realistic endings. We get people wish that didn't happen. But that's like what makes it so amazing. That's what makes the show so global. And something that's so like people that can't nonstop talk about. Because, you know, the average TikTok viewer, I hate to compare that, but it's true, wants to see 456 win and take care of the baby and then end of the story. Yay! As much as we want that to happen, we don't want that to happen at the same time. You know? That was like for me, like I felt numb watching it, but I knew, I was like, there's no way that 456 is gonna win again, and he's gonna go home alive. I think there's gonna be something where he's gonna have to sacrifice himself. And as soon as that baby came out, I was like, wait, don't tell me that this is the reason that 456 is not gonna live to the very last moment. It's because of this freaking baby. And it turns out that it was. The same thing that happened in season 1. Well, not the same thing, in a sense, but a similar situation when, you know, when he won the money. Actually, it is somewhat the same thing of how season 1 ended compared to season 3. When he won season 1, what did he do with his money? He gave it to the kid of Sebyok, the girl, right? Same thing for season 3. He could have won the game himself. But what did he do instead? He fell off. He died. And he gave the money to the baby. To the mother. To player 222. So that baby can be used to raise a life. It was literally the same thing. The same thing, but in a more devastating way. So tragic. But just like, wow. Now I'm going to go more in depth with this. Remember the guard? Remember the girl, the sniper guard? I have to say, that was a good story. Like that's another good conflict that I like from that movie. Sorry, I keep saying movie. From the show. How like the reason why she's doing all this stuff is so she could save player 246 and the little girl that has cancer. You know? If you remember at the very last moment when Gi-hun was holding the baby, and then when he put the baby down, and then he said his final last words, and then he fell. The same moment when the pink guard was gonna kill herself. A lot of people were kind of confused about that part. And I just want to say that the reason why she wanted to kill herself is because she knew after reading, if you remember when she was going through the documents, when she found the office with the documents so she could erase player 246 memory, and then when she saw the documents of herself and then she read, you know, she felt very traumatic. and she wanted to end herself, and she was about to. But the moment when she saw that Gihun killed himself for the baby, as tragic as it was, seeing that a life just like ended like that, it was also like a symbolism of like a way of oh man, what's the word for it? I had this like thought in my head like all day today. He did that. He did that to show. Oh, what's that word? Someone help me out here. I had it. I literally had it earlier. But when she saw him kill himself at the very last, just for the baby, like a sacrifice, and then she put the gun down, she realized like wow, I think there's like really more to life than it really is, and that you should be like really be grateful for what's there, you know, and like with him killing himself, it was an eye opener for the guard. Literally, she was so wasn't just killing herself, but she's like, I don't know if I can handle this life anymore. But when you see the baby still being alive, that shows the things that you sacrifice for. You sacrifice for your loved ones. And so when she sat on the front man's chair, exactly, seeing that, that's when she stopped. She put the gun down and she realized, like, wow, like, I miss my daughter because she has a daughter and she wants to find her daughter. And so good thing she was alive for that. So it's not only like the people that are watching that was affected, even the freaking guards are affected, especially the girl. The VIPs, mad silent. I think what pissed me off is how they let the VIPs get away. Like why, you know? And it's like it pisses me off knowing that like they said that this is the final season. This is it. But how come the VIPs are still there? How come they let the VIPs get away? How come they let the front man get away? You know? Like it's so brutal. But it's so open-ended that just makes you wanna make conspiracies and all that, you know? And that's what makes a show, a movie, like still talked about because of stuff like that. Because if there was nothing open-ended about a show or a movie with a certain thing, then yeah, people are gonna be like, okay, it's over, happy ending, and then forget about it in 2 weeks. You know? Like there's so many what ifs. There's so many what ifs in the situation with that. And let me just say another thing too. What's the guy's name that was on the boat? Gunho? The brother? The detective? Bro. What was the point of that? What was the point of the detective trying to find the island for? But hear me out. Like, he's been trying for years, trying to find the island, trying to stop his brother, trying to, stop the Squid Game as well with 456. Bro, I don't know. I don't want to say that it's pointless, but like he did all that. Just to find the island, and he lost his crew, had to hire a new drone operator just to finally find the island. It's like, oh shoot, I gotta go. There's a bomb that's about to blow up in like 30 minutes. Oh, I'm out of here. And even worse, since he knows that his brother is the front man and owns the Squid Games, but he just refuses to report it. He loses his police license, his detective license, I think. And he comes home to being a single father. Like, what? That part kind of pissed me off. I'm like, huh? Like, what? I think that was pointless. My personal opinion, I think it was pretty pointless to see to see that, that whole build up island scene just to find out that nothing happened out of it. And he's not going to tell the police about it because he still cares about his brother in some sort of way. Even though the front man was going to tell the guy that owns the boat to kill everyone, including my brother. Like, wow. Like, damn. But yeah, um, now to wrap it up. Now to finally wrap it up, the final scene. We got to see that it's 6 months later, and we're in Los Angeles, California. What's up? If you're watching on YouTube, we're in Los Angeles, California. When I saw Los Angeles, California, like the text, I knew instantly what's gonna happen. Because who lives in Los Angeles, California? The daughter of 456. I was like, ooh, are we gonna get to see if the daughter says something or do something? And so that's what we did. We got to see that in fast forward to Los Angeles, California, 6 months later, we see that the front man pulls up to the daughter's house and says, I have a gift for you. That one's predictable. I'm not gonna lie. I saw it coming. You know, I was like, there's no way they're gonna not only kill 456 and just end it like that. Just like, because there's a sole reason why 456 is like that. The way that his character is because of his daughter. You know, his daughter is actually responsible for why 456 had the mentality of playing in the Squid Game and saving all these people as best as he can and to trying to stop it because of his daughter, is the influence of his daughter. You know, we got to see that the front man pulled up and said, "Hey, I have a present. I have something. I have your father's belongings that I want to give to you." And there's something that makes me sad too is that the daughter doesn't even know. She doesn't even know how nice of a father she had. That one is so heartbreaking to me, if I have to be honest. Because the last time she heard of her father, she hated him. She's like, because literally, the father was just 456. Gihun was literally minutes away from getting on a flight. He was literally this freaking close to go see the daughter. So close to seeing his daughter. But then he disappears for 3 years from the daughter just to play in the Squid Game again, just to stop the whole entire thing. And then now when you fast forward, the front man meets the daughter, and the daughter's like, I want no part of my father whatsoever. He's rude to me. He forgot about me. He left me. That's so heartbreaking. Like, we all know why. We all know why. But for her, I just picture yourself in her shoes. She opened up a box with this uniform and a credit card with $33 million. That's it. That's all she got. That, and the only words that Frontman said to her is like, your father passed away. But she will never know. She will never know. Now, there's a whole conspiracy theory. Where are you from? I'm from California, bro. There's a whole conspiracy theory. There's a whole conspiracy theory that's happening now. Where at the very end of Squid Game, we got to see, and oh my God, not gonna lie, this is I'm kind of pissed off at this, but I don't know. Prove me am I wrong, but the very ending, we got to see that there was a lady in a suit and a homeless man playing dakchi. And I'm just like, there's no way. There's no freaking way. Are we actually going to get a Squid Games USA? I don't know. I want to know your guys' opinion on that as well. Do you think they're gonna make a Squid Game USA? Over my dead body, I hope they don't. Like, look, I'm grateful for being able to live in this country, but bro, I don't know. When it comes to USA making remakes of other shows, other movies, they do such a horrible job at it. I don't want to see a Squid Game USA. Like, I'm mature enough to accept that, yeah, they should end it. I think they should end it like that. You know, it'd be interesting if we get to see like, you know, what Squid Game was like back in the day. You know, something that I'd be very curious is to see what was the frontman like playing in the Squid Game, or what was Squid Game like back in 1987? Because I don't know if anyone knows this, but Squid Game started in 1987, right? So it would have been pretty interesting if we got to see like a spin-off where it was Squid Game back in 1987. But to see Squid Game in USA, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Who's gonna be the front man? Mr. Beast? And who's gonna be the captain? Jack Black? Oh, by the Marlins. Yeah, I'm good. I'll pass. I'm good. So I don't know. I don't know. But the director did say, there's a clip. There's a clip that I saw that the director did clearly say that he is done writing about Squid Game. He is done. But he did say never, though. Seeing Squid Game Americas reminded me of Squid Game The Challenge. Isn't that like a game show that someone made? I haven't seen that. And to be honest, I don't know if I want to watch it. I don't know. I don't know. It's cool. It's a cool concept. I mean, I'll be honest. I enjoyed watching the Beast games with Mr. Beast. That was interesting to watch, you know. But let's be honest here. Nothing can beat the original Squid Game. And if we ever get another season of Squid Game, the only thing that I can accept is if we get to see what was Squid Game like before. That's what I want to see. Now, there's another conspiracy theory that I did find out actually like today. Hear me out. Hear me out on this though. This one would be interesting. I know I said I don't want a Squid Game USA, but I did see this conspiracy theory that's making me kind of convinced of like, maybe there should be. But I'm not fully convinced. Hear me out. We got to see that the VIPs speak English. We got to see their face and what they're like, right? Total NPCs. At the very end of the game, when they blew up the whole entire island to get rid of everything for evidence, somehow the VIPs disappeared magically. They left unharmed, right? And we see 6 months later that we're in Los Angeles, and we see that there's a potential Squid Game USA that's going to happen. And we get to see the daughter. What if for some reason we see that the daughter participates in Squid Game USA? And one of those VIPs are the front man. It's either one of the VIPs or the front man, or the front man is going to move to USA. That's why he was in Los Angeles. Not only so he can give the belongings to the daughter, but maybe he's trying to set something up for USA. And so the daughter, it might grow up and play in the Squid Game USA and try to do what her father couldn't do, and that's to stop it. A big what if moment. A big what if cinema moment. Do I think that's gonna happen? Probably not. Probably not. Probably not, because I think it's just gonna be a whole remake, just with a different end result. But I don't know. But but yeah, but that's my view on Squid Game season 3. Such a great show. I hate hearing that fact that people think it's mainstream or overplay. I mean, bro, like people only say that if it's a popular show. Like people just want to say, oh, only underrated shows are better. Like whatever, you know. Like, what would your opinion change if your underrated show became mainstream? Like, come on now. I hate people that say that. Player 1 eliminated. We are not horses. We are monkeys.